Hello, COM 1700 students, and welcome to the instructions for the Chapter 10 worksheet. As always, please listen to the video in its entirety, take good notes so you don't miss any of the requirements of the assignment. This chapter is about family communication and how the dynamics of communicating in families can differ a bit from the dynamics of communicating in other kinds of relationships. And in this chapter, we learn about two specific theories or models that are directly related to family communication, and those are symbolic interactionism and systems theory. So this worksheet is going to ask you to reflect on how you've seen each of those play out in your own family life. Again, it doesn't necessarily have to be something dramatic, but these are dynamics of family communication that you should be able to identify within your family unit. The first one is about symbolic interactionism, or the symbols that we use to communicate with each other, symbols that are loaded with meaning that may not be understood by those outside of the unit. And the second part is about systems theory and how a family operates as a system, and every part of the system affects every other part. So let's look at each of these one at a time. For the first part, I'd like you to review the part of the chapter on symbolic interactionism and how symbolic interactionism gives us a way of understanding how family units interact around symbols, how certain symbols come to be loaded with meaning that might not be understood by people outside the family. And these symbols can be objects or words or actions that mean something specific within that family unit. And I can give you an example from my own family from when I was a kid, and it might sound kind of silly, but it was a way that my mom had of communicating with my brother and I to let us know when we were doing something wrong. And that was the word snickerdoodle. Now, most of you probably know snickerdoodles as cookies, but if my mom said to my brother or me that you're being a snickerdoodle or stop being a snickerdoodle, it meant that we were being a jerk. It meant that we were acting inappropriately, but it was one of our family's code words for that. It was a way that she could kind of scold us in public without other people necessarily knowing. So that would be an example of a symbol that had meaning in our family. The word snickerdoodle was that symbol. Now in your family, the symbol might be something different, but try to think of a symbol from your own family and reflect on how your family uses that symbol. For the second part of the worksheet, I'd like you to review systems theory and how a family operates as an interconnected system. We are interdependent with one another, and a stressor on one part of the system affects the whole system. So if one family member has an issue going on, it can affect everybody else. And that issue could be positive or negative. It could be something happy, like someone has a wedding coming up or someone just got a new job. But any event that affects one family member, because of the interdependence of the family unit, has potential to affect everybody else. So I'd like you to identify and explain a stressor in your family system and how that is affecting the other members of the system. So in summary, you're going to review the idea of symbolic interactionism, identify a symbol in your own family, and reflect on and explain the meaning that that symbol has within the family unit that would not necessarily be understood by outsiders. And then secondly, I'm asking you to review systems theory and the idea that a family is a system and that stressors anywhere in the system, because the system is interdependent, can affect the entire system. Identify a stressor in your family system and how it is affecting the other members of the system. To complete this assignment, write up your answers in a Word document, save that to your computer, and then upload it to the proper Dropbox on eLearning. Please do not send these to me as email attachments, but do email me if you have questions about the assignments. And I'll see you again next week. Bye.